What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, also known as John, coming back to you with another video. I hope everyone is doing well since my last video. I got 3 items in today. One of them was a gift, so I wanted to talk about them, and they literally just arrived 2 minutes ago. So I got right in front of you. You can see my small but ever-expanding Boss collection. We have, let's see, I forgot the order now. We got olive head flat paint, we got the olive head glossy paint, and then we have the carded 77A back. All these are in videos on my channel, so you're welcome to go take a look at them. But my first item that I got today in the mail is actually a gift from my friend Stuart. He's the same gentleman that sent me the Healy made Boss kind of custom that's a wrestler that is also on my channel from a week or two ago. But anyway, long story short is there was a lot when I say a lot, I'm talking about like a group of Mexican bootlegs from the 1980s and 1990s that was on eBay. And this is about 2 weeks ago, and I really wanted them. I wanted them bad, but I didn't have any money, which is the normal par for the course. I literally, as soon as I get money, I spend it. So I had no money. So I told my buddy Stuart about it, and I was like, "Hey, Stuart, check these out. These are awesome." And I told him I thought that they would sell this. I think it was like 7 or 8 bootlegs, and I said I think they're going to sell for around $250 based on market values. If you get them for $250 or less, you're doing great. Well, he ended up putting an offer in, right as the auction was expiring, and he got them all for a really low price. I mean, ridiculous, less than half that. And in that auction was this guy. There were actually 2 of them, and this is a Mexican bootleg Bossk. Now, I've got an unpainted example on my channel in a video from, it has to be at least 4 or 5 months ago, but this is a painted example of a Mexican bootleg Bossk, and it is just awesome. There were 2 of these in the auction, and so he got 2, he kept 1, and he sent me 1 as a gift, and how thoughtful of him to do that, Stuart. That is just insanely awesome of you. I will definitely be repaying you at some point here, but this is a painted example. Now, the Mexican bootleg Bossks, they really carried the same mold through the 1980s and the 1990s. Sorry, that was kind of fuzzy there, but here he is. Really awesome. Look at those eyes. I love the dark paint on him, but, very similar in style to the Kenner figure. Here's a comparison for you. But anyway, as I was saying, the Mexican bootleg Boss, the mold, the actual plastic mold for this guy, was essentially the same in the 1980s and the 1990s. So there's not really much of a difference. These came out kind of late 80s and into the early 90s. Like I said, I've got an unpainted example that's in grading and should be back from CAS sometime in September. But I did not have a painted example, and I've been looking everywhere for one. These on on Facebook have been selling anywhere from $150 to $350, depending on if they came with a vintage weapon or not. And the fact that he got 2 of these in addition to another 7 bootlegs for less than $100, I mean, he just absolutely hit a home run on it. So it was very generous of Stuart to send this to me, because I've been looking for one everywhere. The timing was terrible for me. Every time I wanted to get one, I didn't have any cash. So this will absolutely, here's a comparison of the backs too. So, very similar in mold, if not a direct copycat of the Kenner figure. So, but this will absolutely be going to CAS in my next shipment. I'm sending off a batch of bootlegs and some other weird stuff sometime next month. So, but anyway, thank you, Stuart. This is just insanely awesome. I'm really excited to have him as part of the collection now. And I'm going to see if I can get him to stand up. There he goes. So anyway, you can kind of take a look at it there. So that's the first item. Thank you again. The next item is also kind of a weird one, but I got such a good deal on it, I thought I'd go ahead and show it to you now. This is a Saga Blue, well, I don't know if Saga, it's Attack of the Clones Blue Card C-3PO removable panels, but this is a first shot prototype. And I got a great deal on it. It's, if you go and look up Blacked Out Ewoks' channel, he covers a lot of these in detail, especially this figure. He goes through all the different figures that were available in this line. But this is an unpainted first shot prototype. It does have the the copyright on the bottom, but typically this has a different colored plastic for the groin area, and then all of this is painted. So there's like little wires and things like that are painted, and then there's panels, removable panels, that would typically go over this. But anyway, I got a great deal on this one. It was less than 30 bucks, and so I went ahead and picked it up. But very cool. You know, it's prototypes go in all kinds of different stages. I would call this probably a late stage prototype, final engineering prototype type thing before they started doing color application tests. But very cool. And, you know, for those of you who have prototype, I've got a number of prototypes. And let me say this as a side note. I've got a prototype coming next month that is going to be ridiculous. All right. It's a modern prototype, but it's probably the most stupid thing I've ever gotten graded. But I couldn't help it. I got a great deal on it. And, you know, I really got it for free almost from a buddy of mine. And, I can't wait to get it back from grading, but what it is, I don't want to spoil what it is, but trust me, it's going to be awesome. It's so stupid. It's just a perfect example of how idiotic I am with grading stuff, but I can't wait to show it to you. But anyway, back to these modern prototypes. You know, AFA only grades modern prototypes if they are complete. This obviously is not complete since he's missing the panels, but Collector Archive Services will grade incomplete prototypes. The cost for grading prototypes is more expensive than a loose figure. You know, the typical loose figure costs anywhere from $25 to $40, depending on what it is and if they've graded it before and things like that. And about the same for AFA. But for prototypes, they're more expensive because they got to do a little more research and make sure they're actual prototypes and things like that. The typical loose prototype, complete or incomplete, with CAS is about $80, and at AFA, it's more expensive. I think it's even more expensive than that because they send all prototypes to Collectors Investment Brokerage (CIB) for certification. So it's a very, you know, getting prototypes graded is not a cheap hobby. So I don't have a lot of them. I do have maybe three in grading right now, and then I've got a few others. But anyway, since I'm doing an unboxing for some of these other items that arrived, I thought I'd go ahead and show this one to you. Very simple, modern prototype, and as Blacked Out Ewoks and others have pointed out, you know, you can get a lot of these modern 2001 to 2003 prototypes for very cheap, and I think I paid 30 bucks for this one. So anyway, so that's that. And then finally, this one is a really nice one. I got this one from a friend in the UK, and it got here quick, man. There's something about UK postage. I guess because the UK and America are friends after that whole, you know, Revolutionary War thing, we kind of set aside our differences. It took long enough, I guess, but anyway, the mail from England to the U.S. seems to go really quick, because I just got this, and I didn't think it would be here that quick, but anyway, here we are. It's another Letty edition. This is a Lily Letty Biker Scout, and here he is. He does have the old style casing, but still, it's got the brackets around the neck, and I'm very excited about it. I got a great price for it. I came back with an 1983 Lily Letty Star Wars loose action figure, no COO, Biker Scout, 85. And there are a number of different variations within the Lily Letty Biker Scout, you know, mold, mainly revolving around the mouthpiece. This is the standard, as far as I'm aware, this is the standard size mouthpiece, the long snout. There's also a short snout where that black mouthpiece is a lot smaller. And then there's some molding differences around the torso area with some of the lines and things like that. There's like I think there's 4 actual variations for this Lily Letty Biker Scout. So AFA unfortunately does not really delineate the differences. UKG and CAS do, because their labels are not stuck in, you know, 1998. But unfortunately AFA does not delineate some of the differences in the molds or what mold it is. But CAS and UKG do that because they are modern with their labeling. Hint, hint, AFA. But anyway, a beautiful figure. Really excited to add this one to my Letty collection. I've got, all right, so, and another side note, I keep getting sidetracked with different little stories, but on Wednesday, at least as of right now, unless Mr. FedEx Man decides to take a smoke break and skip my house on Wednesday, I've got another batch coming back from Collector Archive Services. It's like 40-something figures, bootlegs. I got some Kenners. I've even got one Lily Letty in there. And one or two non-sonic welds, but a lot of bootlegs, and it's a really nice batch. It's better than the last batch even, and I'm very excited to be getting it. I'm going to try and cut down the video length by pre-cutting, the envelopes that they come in, okay? So, hopefully that'll lead to a little bit more, less downtime between the figures. But anyway, so that's all I got. So we got a new Lily Letty AFA 85 Biker Scout. We got a Mexican bootleg Bosk from the late 80s or early 90s. And then we got this modern first shot prototype unpainted C-3PO removable panels from, I think it's Attack of the Clones. So that is all I got. Thank you again for watching.